For 3 years, I was Damon's girlfriend, and in his circle, I was famous for it. I was the perfect, ride-or-die girlfriend. I never checked his phone. I didn't care about the women he flirted with. I never argued, no matter how late he came home. Damon loved bragging about it, telling his friends how devoted I was. Until the day he stumbled upon an old social media account I'd shared with my first love. The post showed a version of me that no longer existed, possessive, jealous, impulsive. In one video, my ex laughed, helpless as I scolded him. "Why are you always so angry?" he teased. "I only get angry because I love you." I shot back, voice blazing. "If I didn't, I wouldn't care at all." Damon froze. I first saw him that night at a bar. A beautiful girl in a crop top and shorts was perched on his lap, her arms draped around his neck, lips parted in a dazzling smile. A few of his married friends were already leaving, apologizing as they went. "Sorry, Damon, the wife's on me. She's called 3 times already. If I'm not home soon, I'm sleeping on the couch." Damon scoffed as the girl plucked a cigarette from his mouth and held it between her own lips. "You're all pathetic, getting whipped by a woman." His single friends hooted. "That's our Damon. No matter what time he gets home, Callie never says a word. Teach us your ways, man." The girl giggled, pressing against him. "Aren't you afraid your girlfriend will see us and get mad?" A flicker of pride crossed Damon's face. "She's crazy about me. She'd do anything I say. 3 years together, and she's never once started a fight." The men laughed, envious. Damon's been playing the field all this time, and she never dared to say a thing. "That's a real man." His words cut off when he spotted me standing a few feet away. No panic in his eyes, just that casual arrogance he wore so well. He pushed the girl off his lap and beckoned me over with a lazy flick of his wrist. "What are you doing here?" he asked. "I'm here with friends," I said, keeping my tone steady. The girl forced a tight smile, glancing at me. Callie. Up close, I recognized her. Mia, the new secretary at Damon's company. Some no-name state school, but Damon had hired her instantly after seeing her resume photo.
He didn't waste time.
I ignored her. Damon, clearly drunk, grabbed my wrist and pulled me close. "Didn't tell me you were coming out. Give me a kiss." I flinched. Had he already kissed Mia? The thought made my stomach turn. His smile vanished, replaced with cold arrogance. "Callie, what's that supposed to mean?" "You're drunk," I said simply. "Too good for me, huh?" His ego snapped. Without a word, he yanked Mia back onto his lap and pressed his lips to hers. Right there, in front of me, they kissed, messy, deep, triumphant. Mia's eyes sparkled with victory as she finally pulled away. Damon glanced at me, eyes challenging. His friends held their breath, waiting for the storm. No woman would tolerate that, they thought. I just looked at him and said calmly, "You're drunk. I'm leaving." As I walked away, I heard one of his friends whisper, awestruck, "Holy shit, her composure is insane. She's not even mad. She's completely hooked. Chased him for a year. Does whatever he says. She'd never leave him. Doesn't have the guts to get angry." Damon laughed, short and contemptuous. "She'd never leave me." Outside, the late winter air was sharp, snowflakes swirling around the red glow of taillights and the yellow street lamps. I tightened my scarf and lit a cigarette. Menthol. My first love's favorite brand. I'd begged him for puffs, and he'd scolded me every time. The day we broke up, I bought my first pack and coughed through every puff. No one was left to stop me. I don't smoke much now, but sometimes, when old feelings surface, I need it. Watching Damon kiss someone else didn't make me angry, not one bit. Because I didn't love him at all. I was the one who pursued Damon. I first saw him at the opening of a bar he'd invested in. The table in front of him was crowded with bottles, laughter, and women hanging on his every word. His face seemed to capture the attention of everyone in the room. That night, countless girls asked for his number. I was one of them. Many wanted Damon, but I was relentless. For an entire year, I answered every call, dropped everything at his command, and showed up wherever he was, no questions asked. Damon's reputation as a player was well known. He never went anywhere without a woman on his arm. Even after a night with someone else, if he called, I would fetch him, quietly making him tea to sober up when we got home. Everyone assumed I was madly, desperately in love. They whispered about my family's disgrace, first bankruptcy, now their daughter bending over backward for the young master of the Harrison family. We finally ended up together after a night of too much drinking. We wound up in the same bed, and I only remembered one thing. He was rough, and I cried the entire time, clinging to him. The next morning, Damon studied the marks on my body and the swelling around my eyes. For the first time, he seemed almost gentle. Lighting a cigarette, he asked casually, "Do you want to be with me?" "But one thing," he added, smoke curling from his lips. "Don't try to control me. I hate that." I stared at the comforter, heart pounding. "Okay," I said. Damon believed those were tears of joy. He had no idea it was my first love's birthday. His profile reminded me so much of him, just for a fleeting moment. It felt like he was there again. Before Damon, there was Valet Khan. We were together from 17 until I was 25, 8 years in total. Valet had been the only scholarship student at our elite private high school. His family had once been wealthy, but his father was betrayed by a business partner, went bankrupt, and eventually took his own life. His mother, already frail, died soon after. Overnight, Valet went from golden boy to orphan with nothing. But he recovered. He never wallowed, never flaunted himself. He excelled, ranking at the top of a school full of rich kids, and even becoming student body president. Who wouldn't fall for him? I asked him out repeatedly, and he always said no. Most girls gave up after a few tries, but not me. On my 6th attempt, just before graduation, he finally asked, tired and weary, "What is it you even like about me?" "I just like you. Everything about you." I cried, frustration and longing making my chest ache. He hesitated, then said softly, "I have nothing to give you. Even so, do you still like me?" "Yes," I shouted. "If you say no this time, I swear I'll never ask again." He stared at me, then sighed, pulling me into a gentle hug. "You're an idiot." That moment changed everything. For the first time, I understood what true happiness felt like fireworks igniting in your chest. We stayed together. Valet deliberately missed questions on his college entrance exams, so we could attend the same university. When I found out, I cried. He laughed and held me. "Silly girl. What are you crying for? It doesn't matter where I go to school. Don't worry. I won't let you suffer." It wasn't an empty promise. By sophomore year, he had launched his first company and begun making real money. By the time we graduated, he had purchased a penthouse in the city center, decorated to my exact taste. It was supposed to be our home, our life together. Everything was perfect. Our future included only each other. Neither of us doubted we would stay together. Until the day I brought him home to meet my parents. My father's face went pale. Valet swayed, and his own complexion drained. That's when I learned the truth. My father had been the business partner who ruined Valet's family. Life can be cruel. Valet had never met my father before. We could never have predicted it. My parents asked me to leave the room, leaving him alone with my father. Not long after, Valet left the country. No note, no explanation. The man who would have crossed the country at my slightest request, the man who had promised to love me forever, gotten down on one knee with tears in his eyes, and vowed that with me he finally had a home, simply abandoned me. And I couldn't even hate him. It was my father who had destroyed his life. Who wouldn't harbor hatred in his place? Maybe it was karma. My father's investments collapsed shortly after, and he took his own life. My family went bankrupt. Meanwhile, Valet flourished abroad, growing into a renowned tech mogul with his company listed on the Nasdaq. Our lives had completely diverged. There was no reason for our paths to ever cross again. It should have been impossible. And then I saw Damon. For the first time in years, my dead heart flickered to life. It didn't matter who he was, he looked like Valet. That alone felt like a gift. For that face, I had bent over backward for years. Whenever he needed me, I was there. Late nights, other women, his whims. One call, and I would obey. Birthdays, anniversaries? He forgot them. My own birthday, I was left alone while he went out with some new girl. Damon had always been a playboy. Being with me hadn't changed him. A few times, other women even confronted me directly. He wanted to break up, or maybe he just wanted to provoke a fight. But I never got jealous. I never made a scene. Over time, he got used to me. His friends all assumed I was hopelessly, pathetically in love with him. The truth? I didn't care. All I wanted was to see that familiar face in the middle of the night, to pretend, for a fleeting moment, that Valet was still there. That illusion had kept me going for years. It was one of Damon's friends' birthdays. Everyone had brought their partners.
Damon brought me.
I wasn't surprised to see Mia there. She slid into the seat next to him, as if she belonged. Callie, she said with a saccharine smile. You don't mind if I sit here, do you? Damon glanced at me. I said nothing. His smile faded into a cold sneer. He draped an arm around Mia's shoulders. She leaned close, whispering, laughing, toasting him all evening, clearly enchanted by him. I wasn't angry. I ate quietly. One of Damon's friends clicked his tongue, admiring me. Look at her. So classy. Not like you, getting jealous over every little thing. You should learn from her. His girlfriend, a little drunk, scoffed. I care because I love you. If I didn't, I wouldn't care. The table fell silent. Damon's veins bulged at the wrist holding his glass. His friend hurried to apologize. She's had too much to drink. Sorry, Damon. She didn't mean anything. Damon didn't respond. His gaze was on me. I looked away. Aren't you even a little angry? He asked. What is there to be angry about? I said calmly. Isn't this the freedom you wanted? You get to see other women. I get to walk away when I want. What's the problem? But he seemed unsettled. He pulled Mia even closer until she was practically sitting on his lap. They started kissing, open-mouthed, wet, messy, right in front of me, as if I didn't exist. A few people gave me sympathetic glances, but mostly no one reacted. I scrolled through my phone, counting the minutes until the night ended. As the evening wore on, Mia grew bolder, clearly trying to replace me. She sneered at my phone. An iPhone 12? That's so retro. Are you being ironic? I ignored her. I'd almost forgotten what they look like. Let me see it, Callie. No, I said, gripping it tighter. Damon, make her show me. It's just a phone, she whined. I still said nothing. Damon frowned. She wants to see it. Just let her. No, I replied. Annoyed at my defiance, Damon's face went cold. Give me the phone, he demanded. What's on it anyway? Mia pressed. Something you're hiding? Damon lunged for my phone. What are you doing? I gasped. We struggled. The phone flew from my hand, clattering to the floor. I shoved him instinctively to protect it. He stumbled into the table, cursing. It's just a stupid phone. If it breaks, I'll buy you a new one. His words stopped. The screen had lit up. The video I'd been watching earlier started again, a clip from my time with Valet. I was on his back, complaining, not realizing he was recording. Why did you talk to that girl for so long today? Valet's voice said, teasing but fond. I only get jealous because I love you. If I didn't, I wouldn't care. I snapped back, pouting. Valet laughed. All right. You love me. I get it. Happy now? I scowled. From now on, no talking to other girls. No liking anyone else. Okay. Whatever you say, where did you get this temper? The video kept playing. I grabbed my phone and turned it off. Damon froze. The room went silent. No one expected that. Before I could process it, Damon yanked the phone from my hands and smashed it on the floor. Instinctively, I slapped him across the face, then dropped to my knees, gathering the shattered pieces. It was the last thing I had left to Valet. The screen was black. I clutched the fragments to my chest and looked up at Damon. It hadn't been a hard slap, but he was stunned. He didn't touch his face. He just stared at me, confused, as if seeing me for the first time. Everyone else was frozen. You could have heard a pin drop. A part of me regretted it, but another felt relief. I hadn't meant to hit him, it was reflex. But now it was done. I knew this was the end. I stood, grabbed my purse, and walked out. As I left, I sent one last message. We're done. I was wandering aimlessly down the street when I caught a familiar silhouette in the crowd. For a moment, the world went silent. The traffic, the city noise, it all faded away. My heart skipped a beat, then pounded in my chest. He looked so much like Valet. I pushed through the crowd, running toward him, but by the time I reached the corner, he was gone, swallowed by the sea of people. I stood there, frozen, until a car horn behind me forced me to move. My mind was blank. Winter had deepened, snow falling steadily. I curled into myself on a park bench, letting the cold bite at my cheeks. I had nowhere to go. My father was dead. My mother had remarried and moved abroad. Valet had once given me a home, and then left me in it alone. My life with Damon? That had never been a home. I had places to stay, but no place to belong. A tear traced my cheek. I wiped it away, about to rise, when a shadow fell over me. I thought it was Damon coming to find me. I looked up. My breath caught in my throat. The face that had haunted my dreams for years stood before me. The line between fantasy and reality blurred. My hand trembled, but I didn't dare reach out. The snow seemed to melt in his eyes. For a split second, it felt like the man who had loved me was back. "I'm back," he said softly. I don't remember how I got to Valet's apartment. I only remember clinging to him, crying, refusing to let go. Eventually, he gave up and held me on the bed, patting my back. "Stop crying," he murmured. "I'm not going anywhere. You're going to give yourself a headache." I could barely speak. When did you get back?" "A few months ago," he replied. That only made me cry harder. "Then why did it take you so long to find me?" His eyes softened, shadowed by a complexity I couldn't read. "I heard you were with someone. I didn't know if I should interfere." "Then why are you here now?" "I couldn't stay away," he admitted, voice raw. "I can't forget you, Callie. I can't let you go. I missed you so much it was killing me. I give up. I just can't." I stopped crying and sat up. Valet leaned in. In the cold winter night, snow falling outside, his kiss burned through everything. Neither of us spoke. After so long, words weren't needed. There was no awkwardness, no hesitation. We knew each other's bodies too well. This wasn't lust. It was longing, possession, reclaiming what had been lost. I clung to him, terrified it was all a dream. He held me just as tightly. In that trembling embrace, we finally, truly found each other again. When I woke, the light of morning filtered through the gray sky. Snow still blanketed the city, but the space beside me was empty. Panic surged. I scrambled from the bed, heart racing, almost colliding with Valet as he returned. The dim light highlighted his sharp features. His lips were swollen, red, devastatingly handsome. I let out a breath. I hadn't realized I was holding and grabbed his arm. I whispered. "I thought you were a dream." Years apart had been full of dreams of him. The joy of seeing him had always ended with the crushing disappointment of waking. I buried my face in his chest. After a long moment, I asked the question that had haunted me. "You're back now, you're not going to leave again?" "Because of my father." He rested his chin on my head. After a long pause, he finally spoke. "Back then, I couldn't accept it. I didn't know what to do. I hated him. And because of that, I hated you too. I thought I was going crazy. I even saw a therapist, but it didn't help. I kept dreaming about you," he said softly, holding my hand. "Dreaming you were crying, asking why I left. It broke me. I didn't know what to do, Callie. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. It took me a long time to figure it out. Your father was your father. You are you. What he did doesn't define you. He's gone now. I'm willing to let it go. We can start over." He pulled me close. "I'm not leaving again. Never. That apartment wasn't right for us. I bought a new place. We can decorate it together, okay?" Tears stung my eyes, but I hugged him back. "Okay." The sun broke through the clouds. The snow stopped. My world finally felt bright again. I took a long vacation from work, and Valet stayed home too. We spent our days tangled in bed, and when we finally got tired, we'd move to the couch to watch movies. In the evenings, we'd walk hand in hand to the grocery store. He cooked all my favorite meals, just like before. After dinner, he'd shoo me away from the sink. "I'll do the dishes." "I can do them," I protested. "I actually know how to do a lot of things now." Valet had always spoiled me. Damon, on the other hand, was a prince in his own world, used to being served, never serving. With him, I'd learned to clean floors, cook full meals in under an hour, and iron shirts until they looked professionally pressed. Valet froze, a bowl still in his hand. His face was in shadow, unreadable. After a moment, he reached out and brushed a strand of hair behind my ear. His voice came low and rough. "I'm back now. You don't have to do any of that anymore." That night, we were curled up on the couch when my phone rang. I picked it up and froze. Damon. He hadn't contacted me once since we ended things. I had assumed he was just as done as I was. His social media showed him out partying every night, surrounded by people, flashing smiles. What could he possibly want now? Valet glanced over. "Who is it?" "Oh, just a spam call," I said quickly, pressing decline. A clean break was best. I had been a loyal girlfriend for 3 years. I didn't owe Damon anything anymore. Of course, the peace didn't last. Eventually, Valet had to return to work. The morning he left, I got clingy, wrapping his tie around my fingers. Your secretary? I asked suspiciously. Man or woman? He raised an eyebrow. Woman. My eyes narrowed. Pretty? Young? Single? Gorgeous, young, and single, he teased. I yanked harder on his tie. Valet Khan, are you trying to die? You hired a female secretary. I had never cared about Damon's secretaries. But with Valet, it was different. He laughed, letting me tug him closer. Look at you, you little ball of jealousy. If I actually had a female secretary, you'd probably murder me in my sleep. Relax.
My secretary is a man.
My assistant is a man. My driver's a man. There are no women anywhere near me. Happy now, little tyrant. I looped my arms around his neck and whispered, half serious, half playful. You'd better not. If I ever find out you're cheating, I'll kill you. All right, he said, smiling. Then his tone shifted. What about you? What about me? The smile didn't leave his lips, but the light in his eyes dimmed. That phone call the other night. It was him, wasn't it? Are you going to see him again? It hit me then, he hadn't asked, but the question had been weighing on him this whole time. I don't like him, I blurted, panicked. I was only with him because he looked like you. After you left, I was miserable, so I tried to replace you. But I never forgot you. I was waiting for you the whole time. His expression didn't change. And now I only want to be with you, I said earnestly. I don't know why he's calling, but I promise I'll never have anything to do with him again. That seemed to ease him. He smiled faintly, kissed me, and left for work. I watched him go, heart light, and turned to head back inside, only to freeze. Across the street, under the shadow of a tree, stood Damon. He stepped forward, crushing a cigarette under his shoe. The faint glow of the streetlight caught the edge of his sneer. So that's it, he said coldly. You never liked me at all. You dumped me for him. I hadn't expected to see him there. The shock lasted only a second before I steadied myself. I broke up with you because there was no point in continuing. And no, I never liked you. But you never liked me either. I'd say that makes us even. Even? His face twisted in fury. For a moment, I thought he was going to hit me. I instinctively stepped back. He followed, trapping me against the wall. What are you doing? I demanded. He laughed, a cold, humorless sound. Listen to me, Callie. I don't agree to this breakup. In this relationship, I'm the one who decides when it's over. You think you can dump me and run off with your old flame? Dream on. Before I could move, he grabbed my chin and forced my head up. His mouth crashed onto mine. It wasn't a kiss. It was punishment. His teeth scraped my bottom lip hard enough to draw blood. I pushed against him, but his body was solid, immovable. The pain made my vision blur. Only when tears streaked my face did he finally pull away. I gasped for air, shaking. Damon, are you insane? A smirk curved his lips, stained with my blood. He looked almost inhuman. Remember what I said? His voice dropped to a chilling whisper. You're mine, Callie. Until I decide I'm done with you. That was it. I snapped. This time I didn't hold back. I slapped him, full force. The blow snapped his head to the side, leaving a red handprint blooming across his pale cheek. For a long moment, he stood frozen, then slowly turned back toward me, pressing his tongue to the inside of his cheek. His eyes were black with rage. He spat a mouthful of blood onto the ground and laughed, low and cruel. Great. That's the second time you've hit me. I must be a real masochist coming back for more. His face hardened. You think I want you? I don't give a damn about you. We're done. He sneered, voice sharp. But remember this. You didn't dump me. I dumped you. Without another word, he turned and strode away. I stood there, hand tingling, catching my breath. I had wanted it to end like this. 3 years of my life gone. But I understood. He had never liked me. His pride, that of a prince used to rejection, had been wounded, and this was his way of salvaging it. It was for the best. With an ego like his, I knew he would never come near me again. I thought that would be the last I'd see of Damon. I was wrong. A last-minute emergency sent me to a business meeting in place of my manager. It was a project my entire department had been working on for months. Usually, my boss handled negotiations. I was just there for support. When we walked into the private dining room, Damon was already there, sitting at the head of the table. My boss froze for a second before forcing a smile. Mr. Harrison, what an honor. We weren't expecting your direct involvement in this partnership. I froze. This deal was supposed to go through a subsidiary, handled by a division head. Damon never got personally involved in projects like this. Was it a coincidence or revenge? I didn't have to wait long to find out. As my boss tried to finalize the deal, Damon let out a soft, mocking laugh. His eyes locked on mine. "Mr. Davis," he said, voice smooth cold. "If you want this project, it's simple. I find your employee interesting." He pointed to me. "She drinks this entire bottle of scotch, and the deal is yours. A bottle for a partnership. Seems fair, doesn't it?" A chill ran down my spine. Damon knew I was allergic to alcohol. A whole bottle could kill me. My boss, thinking he was joking, tried to smooth things over. "Mr. Harrison, Callie has a severe allergy. I'll drink it for her." Damon's smile vanished. I want her to drink it. The tension in the room shifted. Everyone realized something was wrong. My boss looked at me, worried. I said nothing. Damon wanted his revenge. Just then, my boss's phone rang. He answered, relief spreading across his face. "Yes, Mr. Khan, of course. A proposal tonight, signing tomorrow. I'm on my way." He hung up and turned to Damon, confident again. "Mr. Harrison, it seems this partnership isn't meant to be. Perhaps we can work together in the future." Damon's eyes were ice. "Found a bigger fish, have you, Davis? The Harrison name means nothing now."
Of course not, my boss said.
"But Callie can't drink. We want the project, but not at the cost of an employee's life." I knew then that Valet had saved me. I excused myself and called him from the restroom. "Was that you? How did you know?" His calm voice interrupted. "I heard Damon had taken over your division. I figured he'd come after you. I had a meeting I couldn't skip." "Did he give you trouble?" "No," I admitted, my voice softening. "You called just in time."
"Good.
"Don't worry. I've got your back. If you want to quit, quit. I'll take care of you." "I know." I hung up and returned to the hallway, only to see Damon leaning against the wall, cigarette in hand. I tried to pass, but he grabbed my wrist. "Are you blind? Can't you see me standing here?" he sneered. I wrenched my arm free. "What do you want, Damon? You love him that much? What does he have that I don't?" He ground the cigarette under his fingers, eyes narrowed. I knew he wouldn't let it go until I answered. "He doesn't cheat." Damon blinked, confused.
"What?"
I said he wouldn't mess around with other women. He wouldn't hurt me. He's faithful, sincere. He's good to me. He loves me. I looked him in the eyes. "So I love him back. Is that so hard to understand?" Damon opened his mouth, but no words came. He knew how careless he'd been, how little he considered my feelings. "Damon," I said quietly but firmly, "it's not my fault I don't love you. Who could? You didn't care about us. How can you expect someone else to? You don't love me either. You're just angry I dumped you." "That's not true." He began, then closed his mouth. "You asked what he has that I don't," I continued. "To me, you aren't even in the same category. Comparing you to him would be an insult." Color drained from his face, leaving him ghostly white. His pupils constricted, lips trembled. He remained silent. I walked past him without a second glance. That night, a freezing rain began to fall. Valet, wrapped in the fluffy robe I'd bought him, plucked the cigarette from my lips. "I didn't say anything before, but now that I'm back, you're not allowed to smoke. Are you trying to kill yourself?" He stubbed it out and glanced out the window. "He's still there. Are you going to go down?" Damon had been showing up every day, like he'd lost his mind. I always ignored him, and by morning, he would disappear. But tonight it was raining, and he had no umbrella. His expensive coat was soaked through, dark hair plastered to his forehead. He tried to light a cigarette, but the rain snuffed it out. He looked pathetic. I sighed. Valet wrapped my coat tighter around my shoulders. "Go if you want to.
Say what you need to say, then come back."
10 minutes. "If you're not back, I'm coming down." A wave of gratitude washed over me. I knew this was hard for him, yet he didn't pressure me. This was the man I loved. "I'll make it clear," I said. "Thank you." I hugged him quickly, then headed out. He called my name. "Callie." "Yeah." I turned back. In the dim hallway light, his eyes were shadowed. A faint smile played on his lips. "You still love me when you get back up here, right?" His voice barely carried, betraying his carefully masked worry. I smiled, ran back, and kissed him. 10 minutes. Damon looked frozen, pale, hair plastered to his forehead. Water dripped from his lashes like tears, though I knew he would never cry. I stood in front of him. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Finally, with a trembling hand, he dropped his cigarette. Callie, he said, voice raw. If I can give you everything he gives you, will you come back? Even now, he couldn't let go of his pride. I wiped the rain from my face. You don't really love me, Damon. You're just angry you lost. How would you know? He shot back, voice hoarse. You're not me. How can you say that? I stared at him. Are you trying to tell me you do? He opened his mouth, but I cut him off, bitter laughter escaping. You mean to tell me that for 3 years, while ignoring my feelings, cheating on me, using my love as a tool to control me, not caring whether I was happy or sad, you were in love with me? I stepped closer. He flinched. You want me to believe that now that I've left you, you suddenly realized you were deeply in love all along? Damon, that's an insult to both of us. His lips trembled. You don't love me. You've never been dumped before. Your confusing obsession with love. No, he choked out, eyes wild. It's not like that, Callie. He forced the words out. I do love you. It was as if a dam had broken. The fight seemed to leave him. I know I sound like an asshole, he whispered, eyelashes fluttering. But I do love you, Callie. When we were together, I never thought about it. You were always there. I never imagined you would leave. But then you did. And now, I dream about you every night. I can't sleep. I glanced at my watch. Whatever. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm going back up. Don't come here again. He grabbed my arm, composure finally shattering. But I fucking love you, Callie. How can you do this to me? He yelled, voice cracking. You loved me once, didn't you? You can't tell me you felt nothing. If I had met you before he did. There are no ifs, I said calmly. Even if you do love me, he loved me long before you. My first everything was with him. I gave him all my love. Everything you're promising now, he already gave me years ago. I pried his fingers off my arm, one by one. My words softened, but they were merciless. Damon, I have never loved you. Everything I did for you was just a repeat of what I did for him. From beginning to end, I was only looking for his shadow in you. Thank you for loving me, but I don't need it. His hand fell away. I glanced down. Exactly 10 minutes. Valet was watching me from the balcony. That night, Damon stayed outside for hours. Valet and I made love, and he was rougher than usual, a possessive edge to his touch. I fell into an exhausted sleep. I woke at 2 a.m., thirsty, and saw Damon still there, a lone figure under the street lamp, the orange glow of a cigarette in his hand. The next morning, the ground beneath the lamp was littered with soggy cigarette butts. When Damon's friends called to tell me he was in the hospital with a bleeding ulcer from drinking, they begged me to visit. You were together for a long time. You can't be that heartless. It has nothing to do with me, I said, hanging up. A few days later, Mia called, sobbing and screaming. Did you make him fire me, you old bitch? He doesn't love you. Why can't you leave him alone? I blocked her number, without a word. I was done with their drama. That evening, when I got home from work, a dark figure was sitting on the steps of my building. My heart leaped into my throat. Valet was out of town. Then the figure looked up. It was Damon. He had lost a lot of weight. His coat hung off his frame, and underneath, he wore striped hospital pajamas. I frowned. What are you doing here? I told you it's over. He winced, clutching his stomach, and held something out to me. I came to bring you this. It was my old phone. I'd given it to a mutual friend to see if it could be fixed, but he had said it was a lost cause. I'd forgotten all about it. I found someone who could fix it, Damon said, voice weak. He looked up at me, expression pleading. The phone is fixed. Can we get back together? I won't be like I was before. Mia is gone. I'll never cheat on you again. I don't mind being second, if that's what it takes. I want you. I stared at him, dumbfounded. The proud, arrogant Damon Harrison, saying something like that? Could he really love me now after everything? The thought was absurd. When I was with him, he didn't care. Now that I was gone, he suddenly loved me? Pathetic. I'm not you, I said flatly. I love him. I would never hurt him. When I have him, I don't need anyone else. Now move. In the dim light, his eyes glistened, and a single tear fell. He looked utterly broken, like a stray dog kicked out of its home. Just as I closed the door, I heard his hoarse voice behind it. If I had treated you right from the beginning, would you still have gone back to him? I paused, then shut the door. The click of the lock was final. I leaned against it and lit a cigarette. Did I ever have feelings for Damon? Probably not. He never gave me a reason to. But those nights, those moments where I could pretend if he had been different, could I have fallen for him?
I didn't know.
And now it didn't matter. We were never meant to be. The decision to move abroad with Valet came one early summer day. His company was expanding into Europe, and I got a transfer to our European branch. We were ready to leave the past behind and start fresh. As I passed through security at the airport, I glanced back and thought I saw a familiar figure in the crowd. But when I looked again, he was gone. It must have been my imagination. I heard bits and pieces about Damon over the years. He drank heavily for a while, ending up in the hospital multiple times. Then suddenly he stopped. He cleaned up, stopped partying, became a completely different person. His family tried to set him up, but he turned everyone down. He remained alone. I didn't know how I felt about it. I didn't hate him. I didn't feel sorry for him either. It was just a story from another lifetime. Are you sure about this? Valet asked, squeezing my hand. Once we go, we're not coming back for a long time. I turned to him, smiled, and tightened my hand around his. I'm sure. As long as I'm with you, anywhere is home. As the plane climbed above the clouds, the city disappeared beneath a white blanket. The good and the bad, I was leaving it all behind. My story with Damon was not a happy one. But now it was finally over.